Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I hate doing the introduction. So I am so excited to be here tonight. Thank you so much, everyone who is joining us tonight. I have a very special guest. This is actually my first time sitting down with her and getting to know her. I've seen her just through the Facebook community, through the YouTube, Instagram community of other resellers. This is not my guest, but you can say hi.
Hi.
And we have Miss Veronika, and her channel is Veronika Mit K, which I just learned is German for Veronica with a K. I thought it was her last name. So I have been corrected, but I am so honored to have her on here tonight. She's a reselling mom. She's just an amazing gem, and I am so excited to sit down and chat with her. So let's welcome Veronika.
Hello. Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone in the chat.
Yes.
And hello, little person who just popped up.
He just came for a quick hello. It's going to be a lot quieter tonight because I've got one kid that was just taken to an ice hockey game with our neighbor. So that was a birthday gift that they gave her, which it's Taylor Swift night. So she's all Taylor Swiftified and they're going to the ice hockey.
A
So
little jealous, not gonna lie.
I know she's going to have so much fun. It's her first time going to ice hockey. So I told her to dress warm because she's already dressed like summer and it's definitely not summer. So she had to
Yeah.
bring she brought her ski jacket and she brought all kinds of stuff. I'm like, okay, it's not going to be that cold,
I
but
love that. I
oh
mean,
my
you
goodness.
guys are in a hot climate, so
We are. Yep. We were not quite 80 today. I think like 77. So it gets
geez.
warm pretty quick. And that's the difference with our heat and like Colorado's heat or Midwest
Mhm.
heat is when it says it's going to be a high of 80, usually it's like later in the day, 3 o'clock, four
Right.
o'clock, then you reach the 80 degrees. Here, if we're going to be a high of 80, it's like the sun is up and it's 80 degrees. It
Oh
wastes
God.
no time.
Ugh.
So it is quick. We've got Nutter in the house. Welcome. Gina, excited to have you. Oh my goodness. Grandma's
Oh,
closet. Thank you so much. So generous of you. Thank you. Oh, that was fun.
I know. I know. It
How
you
do you do that?
you need to have an Apple device. I recently learned that, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff like this. And I don't get me started because I'll do it all night. People in the chat already, they know.
Oh
I
my
get
gosh.
wrapped up.
All right. Well, my computer's lame and it doesn't do that. So, I mean, it's a good computer. So don't talk bad about my computer. Otherwise, you know what happens if you talk bad about technology. But
I know. I know.
so thank you so much. That was
Hey,
very
Grandma.
kind of you. Alicia, welcome.
That's Kristen, my buddy.
Yay. Catching up here. Yay, Chrissy, you're here.
Hi, Chrissy.
All right. So, Veronika, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and a quick introduction?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Veronika with a K, as the name suggests. If you speak German, if you don't, then it wouldn't mean anything to you. But I'm originally from Germany. I'm a part-time reseller. I have a full-time job. I work for a nonprofit in the educational sector, and I also am a mom of one wild child who is with his dad tonight. So that's why it's very nice and quiet at my house, and
So
I can actually
nice
do
when
things.
they're not right there. Even with little Lincoln, when he pops in, at least he's quiet. He came, he said hi, and now
Yeah.
he's gone.
Yep.
So it's nice just having the one.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I resell part time. I started at the very end of 2019, so right before the panini happened.
Yeah.
And then I started my YouTube channel
Panini.
about a year later, so at the very end of 2020. And
Okay.
YouTube channel, everything reselling is under Veronika Mit K or Veronika with a K. Yeah, that's where people can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, on Macari, Poshmark, eBay, Depop. Where else do I sell? Facebook Marketplace, although I don't even know how to share a link to that, if I'm going to be
Right.
honest. I also don't make sales over there, so it's like it's
Yeah.
there. So yeah,
There you
that's
go.
me.
That's awesome. We've got Patrick here.
Hey, Patrick
Welcome.
Murphy. Yeah, I brought my little crew over.
That's so awesome. Chrissy, I bet you get called Colin all the time because if it wasn't for your face, you would think that Colin is on the move, that you would be Colin and moving, but it's not.
Yeah,
All
gang's all
right.
here.
Yes, this is so exciting. And why don't you tell us how? So you kind of said how you got started
A little bit.
pre-pandemic, but
Yep.
what is it that kind of opened your eyes to the reselling world?
It's funny, YouTube actually. So up until like the very end of 2019, I considered YouTube as something where, I would find quick videos for information like how to do this and how to do that, or just find like a music video for my students to listen to in class. I was teaching at the time still. And I hadn't really gone down the whole like rabbit hole of watching like YouTubers, like influencers and people and such. And I realized, oh, there's a whole world out there. And I started watching like a bunch of more like fashion influencers who are like either like mid-size or plus size, and who also happen to go thrifting a lot. And then they were talking about, oh well, if I don't keep this, I'll just sell it on Poshmark. And I'm like, what's Poshmark? Because I'd heard of eBay and I knew that people were doing reselling. It just never occurred to me to like really do that as like a side hustle or what
Mhm.
have you. And so I looked into Poshmark and I was like, huh, that doesn't look too difficult, because eBay, eBay is scary. I had sold a few things on eBay previously just out of my own closet and made no money on them because I didn't know anything about how to ship things and how
Mhm.
much shipping cost. So yeah, so from that YouTube little like rabbit hole, I just went down a whole YouTube spiral. I started watching a ton of reseller YouTube channels, and the algorithm just kind of kicked in and did its thing. And before you know it, I was at my local Goodwill, not expecting to find anything good, and found like a few things that at the time were decent. And I listed them, and then I listed a whole bunch of out of my own closet. Again, on Poshmark, it was really easy. I sold
Mhm.
something within the first 2 days. So I think the algorithm pushes your stuff on purpose to get you hooked, and
Mhm.
worked. Worked right
That's
away on me.
awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been doing it ever since. And of course, the main motivation for me is that I do like to make extra money to support myself and my kid, and just life in general, because life's really expensive these days. But I also like
Yep.
the aspect of, first of all, I get to go shopping and basically get paid to go shopping. I was like,
Yep.
that's fun. I can do that. And the longer I was doing it, I was like, you know what? There are a lot of things out there that are still perfectly fine and good and can be used still, and they're just going to waste. And
Yep.
it's so frustrating. So it also became partially that like crunchy thing of, I want to keep clothing out of landfills. So yeah, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's awesome. You said, do you have just the one kid, or how many kids do you have?
One, but he's
And how old?
plenty.
How old is he?
He's 7.
Okay.
He's a
Yeah, mine's
lot.
right in the middle. I've got a 9-year-old and then the 4-year-old. So
Yep.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Love getting paid to go shopping. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Samantha,
Yay,
yay. Am
Samantha.
I missing anyone? Oh, we got a singer in the house. It's a whole new world. Yes.
Sure is.
I like the money. Money is pretty
Yeah,
motivating.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
It's
I
metal
like money.
landfills. Money's good.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I want to
Yeah.
tell you guys I do have a giveaway tonight. So I was originally going to celebrate 6,500 subs, and then the last video I put out is just going to the moon. So we're at 6,600 subs. So we'll celebrate that because that was a quick
Awesome.
100 in one day that I was not expecting. And I have a photo box. I don't know if I'm going to be able to
Ooh.
show it on here, but we're going to try. Maybe. One-handed this.
You can do it.
I can do it. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Hooray.
Ah, ah. Okay, so it's a light box.
Ooh.
I can plug it
Li-
in. Sure, I guess you guys want to see it working, huh? So it's
I
a
mean,
USB.
I trust you, but
No such thing as trust. Okay, and then
I mean, I
let's
also
see.
trusted you when you gave me a date that wasn't the actual date for tonight. So
I know. Yeah, so I booked Veronica for March 23rd. Yeah, not February. So
Mm-mm.
apparently March 23rd is a Saturday, and I did not realize that. Okay, so it's got the light inside, and it goes super bright. And then it can go not as bright. So it's got the LED like
Love it.
built into it. It's super cool, and I love that it goes flat. So I am giving this away to someone who is in this room tonight. I will not blind myself. Oh, okay. So we'll do that towards the end. But yes, you will want this amazingly portable photo
Love it.
box.
I live in a very small space, so anything that can be folded and just like tucked
That's what I
away,
love. Like you
love
could
it.
seriously like take my pictures right here next to my dining table.
Yeah,
Like that is going to
awesome.
be so handy for someone. So I'm excited to give that away. All right, let's see. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Ooh, a giveaway. Yes.
Couple of people came in.
It's a leap year.
Here's a leap.
Yes. The invisible one. I can't believe how expensive things are. Just blows my mind.
Yep.
You have to do something to make extra money, put gas in
Yep.
your tank. So, so true. Smiley Thrifter is here. Welcome.
Hey. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I hardly shop like retail anymore. I never really shopped like full price retail. I was always like a find it on sale, find a coupon kind of girl.
Yep.
But yeah, now even like TJ Maxx and whatnot, I'm like, why is this so expensive? Because it's just not good. It's
Exactly.
you get to the point where it's like, I'm not paying $8 for a pair of jeans, and then I need to check
Right.
myself, like, you know what they cost new, right?
Right. It's funny you should say about Poshmark, going back to that, how
Yeah.
I've heard if you start with Posh, eBay is really hard. But if you start with eBay, I think Posh is hard. Like I've made more
Hmm.
mistakes on Posh because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, because I didn't start there. So it's
Right.
funny how wherever you start is of course going to be your easiest platform.
Yeah, I feel like eBay just asks a lot of you upfront, both when you're listing. It's just there's so many
Hmm.
details where I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. And I don't care. Especially with
Right.
clothing. It might be different depending on what you're selling, but eBay is also there's certain like required fields sometimes where I'm like, it does not match any of those, you know? And I'm like, if
Right.
I put my own in, it's not going to be searchable. So it's like, what do you want me to do here, eBay? So Poshmark, I
Hmm.
think for me, it was just really easy to list. And then once something sold, it was really easy to ship it out because I didn't
It's
have to
more
worry about,
common sense.
yeah,
Like you're taking a picture of it. You can see what this item is.
yeah,
Why do I have to put 15 different descriptions about this item? You
yeah,
have eyes. You can see what this is. We're not
yeah.
reinventing the wheel here.
But people don't look at pictures and people don't read. So,
It's so true. What's
yeah,
the saying? To do descriptions as if there's no pictures and do pictures as if there's no description.
yes. I do
Nobody
that,
looks at
and
both.
sometimes I feel silly because I'm like, it's so obvious, and it's a very plain item. I'm like, I don't know what else to say about it. It has
Mhm.
sleeves. They're long. Like, what else do you want me to say?
Please.
Maybe I need to just pick
Yes.
up more interesting stuff. Maybe that's the problem.
There you go. Something that you want to describe in 50 characters or less. Full price is a four-letter word. Yes.
Yeah.
Posh is easy, eBay hard because you
Yep.
started on Posh. Yeah.
Yep.
I think if that's what you started with, that's your easy one. Happy hours here. Welcome.
It. I love him.
That's awesome. You brought lots of cool people.
Yeah, I invited all my favorite people.
eBay's the tough one for
Yep.
me. You're both looking fabulous. Thank you.
Aw. Takes one to know one,
Why,
Gina.
thank you. Very frustrating when they don't read descriptions or even titles. I'll put in the title,
Yep.
read description,
Yep.
or doesn't work, or whatever it is, and they
Yep.
still don't read it.
Yep.
That's crazy people for you. So, is your son involved in the business at all? Does he help you?
He does not really. He every once in a while, like, I'll ask him to
Kevin's a
bring
tough
me
one.
Yeah, every once in a while I ask him to bring me like a poly mailer and he'll do it, but besides that, it's more like the opposite. I'll take pictures and have everything set up and he just like wants to be in the picture. So in my like camera roll, I have a whole bunch of clothing pictures, and then every once in a while there is a child with the clothing picture. And I'm like, all right, don't post that because we're not
Right.
selling them yet. So
Not today.
yeah, so he's like passively involved, I guess, because it's around him a lot, and
Yep.
I do kind of instill like a sense of, hey, not everything needs to be bought new, and there's a thrift store, and here's how it works, and this is what we donate, and this is what other people donated.
Hmm.
So in that sense, yes. And like most of the time when I go to my storage unit to pull some sales, he's in the car just hanging out. And like I'll do something like, hey, can you remember this number, and just yell it to me. So we do little games, and but he's not involved in a sense that it would actually be helpful for me. I hope when
Yes.
he's older, maybe, like, when he realizes, "Oh, I can sell my stuff that I don't play with anymore, and I can make money
Yep.
to buy things that I want to get." I'm hoping we will get to that eventually, but yeah, so far, no, not really. Not really.
Yeah.
He's not pulling his
I'm
weight yet.
hoping the time comes. Even my 9-year-old. So she's always been immersed in it.
Mhm,
Because when did I start? I think it was right around the end of 19 as well.
mhm,
So she would have been 4.
yeah,
And so she knew pretty much from as far back as her memories are, this
yeah,
is what I do. So
yeah,
I'm hoping she gets more useful because right
yeah,
now she hates it. And she doesn't want to go to the thrift stores with me because she knows it's so time consuming. I'm not just running in looking for a pair of shoes and getting out.
right,
Like
yeah.
I need to look at all the shoes, I need to go to all the hard goods, all the electronics, then I gotta look it up and then I gotta
It's
test
so
it.
boring for them.
So they hate
Yeah,
it. Yep.
yeah. And the few times that I've taken my kid to the thrift with me, he would go straight for the toy section, and we would walk out with like 3 things that I sourced, and then like 2 more things for him that, to be
Yep.
fair, we got for like very, very little money. Like I got him a whole bunch
Yep.
of like really big like Paw Patrol toys for $10, but like don't think I wasn't thinking in the back of my mind like, okay, when you're done with this, I'm going to sell that and I'm going to sell it for
Yep.
more. So
Yep.
it's like, yeah, you can have that.
It's like a little loaner. He can borrow it until he's done because you know it's gonna
Yeah.
last 10 minutes to them, and
Oh
then you can
god,
sell it.
yes. Yes.
When you put flawed in the title, hey, I'm gonna return this because it's flawed.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
we know exactly.
I had something
Let's
like that
see.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your favorite niche. So is it clothing? Is that your go-to?
Yeah, so I primarily sell clothing and shoes. I dabble a little bit here and there, and like maybe I pick up a plush at the bins or like some hard goods. And um, it's clothing. It's just at this point, it's what I know, and it was such a steep learning curve. I feel like to learn brands and styles and terminology and like what's selling and what's not, and what's a good brand but a bad style and vice versa. It took such a long time that now I'm kind of reluctant to like switch or include other things.
Yeah,
I feel like my brain's full with all this clothing
yeah,
terminology, but I am generally curious about other categories. As long like I'm curious about hard goods. I just feel like that's such a different mountain of like knowledge there, because there's so much what falls under the like category of hard goods. So
yeah,
if anything, for me, one thing that it would have to be like items that have a relatively small footprint, just because I have very limited space. Currently don't really keep my inventory in my apartment because it's very small, so I do have a storage unit, and I will run out of space there as well sooner or later. So, whatever it has to be small. Also, because I don't like shipping hard goods. And me and my hard goods reseller friends have had lots of conversations about that. With clothing, there's a lot of work that goes into preparing it and getting it ready to list and like describe and all of that. But once you get to the point where you ship it, it's super easy. And I think with hard goods, it's almost the other way around, because you snap a few pictures, you pull the description from
right.
Amazon or whatever, done. But then when you have to ship it, it's this whole like, I need to make sure it's not breaking, and that I don't like to
It's
ship
funny
things
you
that
should say
can
that.
break.
That's so true. It is, yeah, because the listing of it is super easy,
Yep,
especially if it's something that's brand new and packaged. You take a
yep,
picture of the front of the box, picture of the back of the
yep,
box, and throw it in a box.
yep,
Like it
yep,
doesn't get easier. But then, yeah, when it's time to ship it, you need more supplies. You need
yep.
bigger size boxes. You can't just do all poly mailers.
Right.
And yeah, so that's a funny observation. Very, very true.
I will say though, I had a few really good sales that were just not clothing, that were hard goods that I randomly picked up from the bins because I don't know what I'm doing with the hard goods bins, and I'm not a person who gets in there and like elbows people out of the way. I don't do that. No. Um, it's like
Light
people
shove, just a light
like
shove.
just go do your thing, and I'll pick it. Like I'll look through it after it's picked over, and I will sometimes pull out things where it's like, I don't know what that is, but it looks interesting. It looks weird. I'm going to pick it up because it's cheap, which is
Mhm.
not generally something I recommend doing, but every once in a while it works out. And then I'll sell it
Right.
for like 40 bucks. And I'm like, who would have thought, that worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. I like being in the midst of the elbow shoving. Like I'm not throwing elbows, but
Yeah.
I like to be in there. Like today, our new bins open today,
Mm.
and they were doing a new drop at 4 o'clock. And since they're right in my backyard, I got to zoom right back over there for the
Yeah.
4 o'clock drop. And I'm just sitting there like a lost puppy following this crate as he's going up and down the aisles, following as he's throwing stuff to each side because they don't want you digging in the pallets while they're
Right.
throwing them
Yeah.
because it's a different style of a drop where
Yeah.
like they used to at the old bins, the one that I used to go to in Tucson, when they did a new drop, they would fill in one of the bins, put it in the back, cover it in sheets like they do at the Goodwill bins, roll it out, and then
Mhm.
everyone piles around, they pull the sheet, and it's a frenzy. They don't do that anymore. And they haven't done it for a while, I'm guessing because elbows were thrown.
Yeah.
So now they come out with their like their hoisty thing. I'm forklift,
Mhm.
and they just have one of the big gaylords on there, and they're just grabbing stuff and just tossing it into bins. So
Hmm.
different style, but you're still
Interesting.
kind of getting in there.
Interesting. Yeah,
But it's so fun.
and I think especially also because it's hard goods, I'm just like, with my luck, I'm less worried about the elbows. I'm more worried somebody's gonna slam me like in the face with something, and then my glasses break, and then it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Like
it
probably
can
not gonna
escalate
happen,
quickly.
but it's just I'm not. Some of my friends in the chat will laugh about this, but I'm not a confrontational person.
Aw.
Some people might disagree, but I'm really not. I just don't want to be in there. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll look through it after it's picked over, and it's really more so to pick up little things for either my kid or like our place and such. And every once in a
Mhm.
while, I find something I'm like, I think I can sell this," and I sell it. And yeah, it's a slow, slow learning curve, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I
think
feel
I'll
that
ever
with
be a
clothes
hard
because
good
I don't
person.
know enough about clothes, and I just learned a
Yeah.
new term yesterday called jorts. Apparently, jorts are a thing, jean shorts, and
Yeah.
all the teenagers are going a frenzy over jorts. Where the heck did this word come from? So, I don't know. Maybe it's a bebop thing, and that's a trending word over there. I don't know.
I d I don't think I've ever used jorts in, like, a listing description, but yeah,
Well,
I've
now you're gonna have to. If they're
yeah,
jean
I feel like
shorts, they're
yeah,
jorts, and
especially because
everyone
my
wants
jean shorts do not sell, but,
'cause you're not calling
no,
them jorts.
I probably, yeah, yeah, they're not cool enough either. Yeah,
Oh,
no, it's
man.
it's so funny with clothing because the one thing that always gets me is, like, when some new trends emerge, and then they have the
Mhm.
weirdest names, and, Glamour is gonna know in the chat what I'm talking about. Um, and, like, Poshmark sends out little notifications like, "List your items that are like, what was it? Coastal Cowgirl?" That one had us just, like, I still don't
Coastal
really know
cowgirl.
what it is. Coastal Cowgirl.
Coastal cowgirl.
Coastal. Like a so you're like
Like on
a
the
horse
Gulf
girly
Coast.
who lives near the beach, but, like, what does she wear? It's just I don't get it, you know? And then it's like all the cores, like cottage core and, gorp core and all of that, and I'm just like, "I just wanna list my clothes, and
Right?
I don't wanna" Just I don't want to learn all these things. It's like I feel like
Oh
I'm
my
I'm being forced to
gosh.
learn things against my will sometimes.
Yes. Oh man. No, I'll stick to VCRs and hard goods all day.
Yeah. See,
All right. So what's
electronics.
this shoes reference here?
So apparently that's how I pronounce the word shoes. Um, I still don't know how to properly do it. It's just how I talk, and so it's just a thing. Like anytime I talk about shoes, that's the hashtag.
All right. Hashtag shoes. That's how it
I will
sounds,
say,
even without an accent. That
uh,
shoes. That's
thank
how you say it.
you. Sometimes I'm like, how am I supposed to say it? But
Well,
yeah,
that's how you say it.
shoes. I definitely exaggerated now because now it's a thing. Now it's the brand.
Yep. Ooh, welcome. Excited you could make it. Doesn't always seem to find the best things after a binge she's gone over by someone in a rush.
Totally,
Yeah,
totally.
that's even with other bins, the hard goods bins. Is after you go around, you can go back around a second time, a third time, a fourth time, and still find good stuff because people are just rushing over the top layer and you're starting to see
Or
the bottom layer.
or people shocking thing, but people look for different stuff. I'm at the
100%.
clothing bins, and there's a whole bunch of people who I think they solely go there to look through purses and clothing to check the pockets for money and gift cards. um and I had this person, this was a while ago, but I had this person next to me throwing back Patagonia jackets after looking through the pockets, and I'm just like, I was like, "What's happening here? Am I being punked?" Because I'm like, "That's a Patagonia. That's money." And she didn't even find anything in the pocket. So I was like, "I will take that. I will take that." It was like two different ones,
Wow.
and I made bank on those. So it's funny because I mean, people know about different things. I also see people next to me pick up things where I'm like, I wouldn't have picked that up, but I also don't know, are they shopping for themselves? Are they shopping to resell? Are they shopping for their kids? So yeah, it's interesting because I also do believe like different things sell for different people. I don't know how that works, but somehow that is a thing.
And that's also, like you said, where they sell it. Like
Mhm.
here, a big thing is a lot of people take it down over the border. There's this big flea market in Mexico
Yeah.
that they sell it in person.
Right.
So items in person, of course, are going to sell differently than items
Right.
online and
Yeah,
different brands in
absolutely.
person versus different brands online. So yeah, there's no contest.
Yeah,
There's something for everyone. All right.
absolutely.
Coastal Grandma?
Okay, coastal grandma. I know, I know. I have a visual, but yeah, it's so weird.
Oh my goodness. All right, Samantha can help with the coastal cowgirl. She had that phase.
I mean, to me,
Did you dress as coastal cowgirl? We're gonna need proof of this.
yeah, I don't know, with coastal cowgirl, I feel like it's like cowboy boots, but then also like a little bit of boho and like fringe and maybe like a like straw hat or something. I But that's just
Okay, so
boho
here we
to
go.
me.
Lived in Texas, so it was like a Texas girl missing the beach. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
still
still
don't know.
can't picture it.
I still don't know.
That's funny. Uh, Thank you, Chrissy, for sharing the socials.
Ew. Yeah, I tried to keep it real, just plain
You
and
sold the
simple, just
Patagonia
same
jacket.
name. Yeah, exactly. I sold one of those Patagonia jackets for I think 80 and one for 50, and I was like, "Oh well."
And she was looking for a dollar in the pocket.
She was looking
Like,
for a dollar. People do find gift
wow.
cards at the bins, but the funny thing is because, like I said, people look specifically in purses and such. The other day I went to the bins and there was a Home Depot gift card, which is bright orange, just in the bin, just sitting there. And I'm like, I mean, it doesn't weigh anything, so yeah, I'll take it. And it wasn't scratched off or anything like that. And I checked it right as I got to my car, and it was 25 bucks on it, and nobody had picked it up.
Oh,
So
and you
it
probably
was,
paid like 3 cents in your pile of
if
stuff.
that, if that, yeah. So I was like, "All right, I'll go
Wow.
shopping with that, Sure."
I found Amazon gift cards at the Amazon
Ooh,
bins, and
nice.
they were not scratched. They were still in their little gift box that would have
Oh,
been sent off to somebody. And so it was $15 day, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna pay 15 bucks for a box with a gift card in it, and it turned out to be empty. There was nothing on it. So, and I did like this
Yeah.
whole live reveal where I'm like, all right, I'm going to record this and you can see my reaction when there's $500 on here. Like, and it's empty. Oh, I was
Yeah.
so sad. But all right, I'll write off the 15 bucks. Move on.
Yeah, I hear that. It happens.
Yeah, it was a bummer for sure. The
Absolutely.
$25 Home Depot. That is a win.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned Goodwill bins. Where else do you like to source?
Um, so the bins, okay, I will say not all bins are created equal, as most of us know, I think. So I do like my bins here in Virginia. I lived in New Jersey for a while, didn't like the bins there. Also didn't really have a lot of opportunity to go. But the bins are definitely my favorite spot. These specifically these here that I go to just because, low cost of goods, get a lot of inventory in a relatively short amount of time, which is important when, you have a job and a kid and all of that. So, aside from that, I have like my local honey hole, just regular thrift store that I go to, and it's so close to where I live, and it's like right across from my storage unit, and it's really dangerous to live so close, but I
Yep.
like to go there. Not too much anymore, just because one of my goals has been to just keep my cost of goods as low as possible, and they're reasonably priced for the most part, and they run sales, but they also just
Comparing
kind of
to Goodwill bins, it's hard to compete.
yes, but they're overall better priced than the regular Goodwill retail store. I went
Yeah.
in there, so I moved back to Virginia about half a year ago. I went into Goodwill, I looked around, I saw what the prices were now, and I walked right back out. I was like, "You have lost your mind, and I will not shop
Yeah.
here." It made no sense.
Yeah.
And so with like the smaller thrift stores that are somewhat independently owned, um, they tend to around here anyway. They tend to not have like fixed prices, like all shirts are this and all jeans are that. So even though they have like a tendency to mark everything in like the same price range, you do catch them slipping sometimes, and I love
Mhm.
to do that, especially once they start
Yep.
marking things down and people don't know what they have, and I'm like, so I do like to go there. Aside from that, when I was still living in New Jersey, where I didn't really have like a support system, and I didn't really have kid free time, I did order a lot more from ThreadUp. And my channel for a while was, I think, definitely getting a lot of views and subscribers because of all my ThreadUp unboxings. So if people in the chat are into that, I have a lot of that. And it's definitely it's a risk. I've gotten some really bad boxes where I was like, I wasted my money. It's like, I'll
Wow.
admit it. But a lot of them had at least one or two like really good pieces in there where I made a ton of money on a fairly low cost of goods. But it's not something that I would personally like. I don't feel comfortable doing all my sourcing through like mystery boxes because I like to
Right.
look at the stuff that I pick up. But
That's
also it
smart.
has
That's
yeah, and it has helped me just know more about different brands and also certain items where I was pulling them out of the box and I was like, "Oh, this is nice," showing it, for the channel. And then I research it and I'm like, "Huh, this goes for a lot." So there were definitely a few pieces where I was like, "Okay, I would have left this behind at the thrift for $5 or whatever price." But I got it in a box, so I listed it and I made like $150 on it. And
well, that's
so
awesome. And now you know to watch for that brand,
yes, yeah,
and you
that
wouldn't
brand
have
or that
before.
specific item, yeah, so,
Yep.
it's really fun, and I will say the ThreadUp boxes were definitely it was partially for the purpose of sourcing and finding ways to source from home, while my kid was doing whatever, but also, I mean, obviously, when you have a YouTube channel, it's like ThreadUp is, like, still, like, magic for the algorithm, my videos would
Yeah.
get a lot more views, and I was like, "Well, I'll take that. That's a good side effect of
Right.
it." But yeah,
Yeah, but like you said, I like to cherry pick. I want to find
yes,
my items, get
yeah,
that rush when you find it. Like that's
yes,
the fun of thrifting and sourcing. How do you have
absolutely.
time to do that? If you're working full time And
Yeah.
taking care of your son.
Yeah, so it's a little bit better now. One of the main reasons why we moved back to Virginia was because my son's father lives here. And so now it's easier because we can co-parent, and usually he's with him on the weekends for at least one day, sometimes a day and a half. So Saturdays have become my bins days, not every Saturday, just because I cannot process that much that quickly to where I'd be ready to go back the next week. But like between once and twice a month, I've been going to the bins on Saturdays, and then I just hope that I find a lot of good stuff so that I have enough to like get me
Yep.
through 2 3 weeks, so I can list. And because I'm a slow lister, that usually works out. um but yeah, that's basically where I have the time, and it's definitely sacrificing time that I could be spending on, doing things for myself and doing self-care and spending time with friends. But
It still counts as self-care.
it's still, yeah, I honestly am one of those weirdos who's like, I mean, the bins are such a weird place, but to a degree, they are my weird happy place. Especially when I find good
100%.
stuff. There's nothing worse than going to the bins and you just walk out with very little, and it took a lot of time to find even those things. Those
Yeah.
days are rough, but I still enjoy it enough to, go back and dig and find and
Yep.
sell. So, but yeah, so when I didn't have, my support system around, ThreadUp was really the best option for me to source. ThreadUp and Goodwill Blue Boxes too, because I was never truly kid free. Like I would be at work while he's in school, and then when he comes home, I'm home with him. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not really fun to go thrifting with kids.
Nope.
So yeah, I was like, well, ThreadUp it is. And then at some point I got like 100-pound ThreadUp box, and that was I still have a little bit of PTSD from that. That was a lot of work. It made me a lot of money, but my God, it was a lot of work.
I
Um,
bet.
I have it documented on my channel as well. I occasionally I go back and I'm just like, oh my God, what were you
What
thinking?
was I thinking?
But at the time, it was my best option, and luckily, I had some good stuff in there that quickly made me my investment back, and then some things are still in my closet, and,
Oh,
it's been 2
funny.
years, so
That's all right. You'll get to it eventually.
yeah.
Samantha, I really want to go to the bins.
Mm,
Yes. So I personally am not a huge fan of the Goodwill bins.
mhm,
We have one here in Tucson, or not here, but in Tucson. So it's
yeah,
about 40 minutes away. And I mean, all the Goodwill bins are pretty run down and just they're not going to be your
yeah,
posh type
yeah,
places. It's not that's not what it is. So you're digging through a lot of junk. Because I do the hard goods
yeah,
versus clothes,
yeah.
it's a wild animal over there. So it's not
Yes.
my favorite. And then since I started going back to the Goodwill bins, my Amazon bins opened.
Mhm,
So easily I kicked Goodwill bins to the curb and I spend my time
yeah,
at Amazon
yeah,
bins. But if you can go to either one of them, it will
yeah,
change your business.
and I
Chrissy,
can
thank you for
totally see
sharing
that.
YouTube.
Yay, thank you. Especially because the hard goods and my bins, a lot of times, I just see things are incomplete, things are damaged, it's just
You're digging through a
it's
lot
rough.
of trash. A
I will
lot of
say,
trash.
one thing that I have to say from my bins here, like I said, I'm in Virginia and I go to the Hampton bins. Please don't stalk me, but but come say hi if you're there. And those, as far as bins locations are concerned, they're pretty decent. Like people are generally not complete train wrecks. They are mostly, I
They're
don't want to say
civil humans.
civil humans. Yes, I've never
Okay.
seen a fight break out. They'll be in there like elbows and all, but like it's not like you don't have people throwing things around. You do have kids running around, which, just what can you do? But also they're pretty well lit, so you can actually look over your items.
Oh, good.
It's a fairly large, like, square footage, and they have a lot of clothing bins, which is why I like to go there.
Yeah.
There's also a location in Virginia Beach, which I like specifically for shoes. Clothing, not so much. That one's a little bit smaller, but then again, I've been to the Richmond, Virginia location once. I'm not going back. It was dark, it was dingy, people were rude.
Yeah.
There was no space to move around, and from what I've read
Yeah.
in some of the, Facebook groups, it's still the same, so I'm like, "Nah, not going
Yeah.
there."
And
Um,
here, the big thing is how stuffy it gets. If there's
yeah,
no ventilation and it's 110 degrees out,
yes,
to have the icky, smelly clothes all in a giant
yes,
pile with icky, smelly people, it doesn't make a good shopping experience.
I hear that. And we do have like the kind of bin store that you go to. I looked it up the other day, because I we were talking about it in one of the groups. Um, I think I need to go there at some point just to
Just to
see
do it.
what it's like. Yeah, I'm
I'd say for the
curious.
first time, don't go on the most expensive day and don't go on the cheapest
Yeah.
day. Pick one of the
Yep.
in-betweens. So you have time without the pressure and the
Right.
crazy crowds to
Yeah.
actually look around. Because my first time I went was $1 day. And I'm
Mm,
like, okay, this is like it's really good, but it's also really crazy. And the
yeah.
line, I remember being in line longer than I shopped because I
Yeah.
went in and I had a time limit because I wasn't expecting to find it right on the corner.
Right.
And like, okay, I've got 2 hours. So about an hour in, I'm like, all right, I can go ahead and head to the checkout and be good to go. It took me an hour to get through the checkout. So, I
Damn.
mean, granted, they were new, they were training people, they didn't quite have a system. So hopefully, I mean, it gets better, but don't start on $1 day and don't start on a
No.
$15 day if you've never been. The people
Yeah.
today, it was laughable. So you had about half the people that are pros that go in,
Mhm.
they were just like bullets going up and down the aisles as fast
Yeah.
as they physically could. And then you had the people like, how does this work? How much is everything? Like just
Me.
the confused patch, like
Yeah.
50% that were confused. And I'm sure those people will not be going back,
Yeah.
which I mean, that's fine. More for
Right.
us, but you can see the just the chaos in their head, like
Yeah.
how confused they had to
Yeah.
be. So not a good day to start out. Of
Yeah.
course, grand opening of all days, and
Yes.
we have what's called rodeo days. So kids are all out of school yesterday and today for the Tucson rodeo.
Gotcha.
So they planned this day like to a T. It was very good marketing on their part, but for the crowds, I think there was like I have to guess at least 300 people in line before they
Wow.
opened.
Oof.
They advertise the crap out of it. So to not know what you're getting into, and for most of these
Yeah.
people to think, oh, I see this DeWalt drill in the picture, I want that, and I'm
Mhm.
number 205 in line. Good luck. So it's if you don't know what you're getting into, do not start on the top dollar
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Save that for once you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I
All
looked
right,
up
I'm
the
behind on
ones
comments
around
here.
here and their pricing structure, and I was like, okay, so this could be a good day. This could be a good day. I usually work on the weekdays, so that probably wouldn't
Mm,
work. So it would have to be one of the weekend days, which is not the best
yeah.
price wise, but I think just to scope it out, and I mean, it's where they located. It's on the way to my bins, so I could
Mhm.
always pop in and be like, nope, not for me, and
And
just be on my
exactly.
merry
Set a
way.
timer. Say, okay, I'm going to give it 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Go through it, and if you find a couple things, great. If not,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, nope, on to my Goodwill bins, and that's my happy place. So
Yep.
yeah, but definitely don't do your first day on $15 day. I'm sure we wiped out half the population by the ones that thought they could do it today, thinking they can go into a retail store and get all
Oh
this stuff for
god.
$15. Like the
Mm-mm.
comments cracked me up. People were asking if they could ship and how many of this purse do you have in stock and
Oh, like,
no, you don't
"Honey,
know what you're getting
no,
into. Like, don't
no,
do it. Not today.
no."
Come in
Yeah.
on Sunday when it's $8 day. Oh my goodness. All right. Don't buy anything at the Goodwill bins or Goodwill store that's not
Yeah.
discount tag.
Mhm.
Love the honey holes. Yes, I've got one locally here that is my daily. Love it, love it. Sometimes it hurts to put things back.
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard, especially at like today with just any of the Amazon days,
Yeah.
$15, you really have to think about your items. And it's like,
Yeah.
I hate to put this back. It's a $50
Right.
item, but it doesn't sell fast enough.
Yeah.
Or by the time with free shipping, I'm going to make $10. Like
Right.
I put a Stanley back today, a Stanley cup, and it hurt
Mm.
because I have a ridiculous collection because of how many I found at the bins. My
Yes.
daughter now has a collection like this one. This was a bins find, so it's only 15 bucks. It
Nice.
had a logo, so I just stuck my sticker over the logo.
Heck
Easy
yeah.
fix. My
Awesome.
daughter has one she got for Christmas that's got the handle up top, so she takes that
Mhm.
to school. She has one that's just the smaller of this, but without the handle.
Yeah.
Um, My son has one sitting right now in his prize box. I've got like 4 40-ounce ones. Like, to admit my Stanley
Damn.
problem is embarrassing, but I put one back today, and
Yeah.
luckily, this nice lady behind me, she's like, "Oh, I'll take it." Like, happily, like, "It's a
Yeah.
nice mug, I've got a problem." So,
Yeah.
it physically hurts to leave stuff like that behind when
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, I
See,
know, I want you,"
I'm
but
I'm one of those people I really don't like. I mean, okay, so everybody has a different definition of like paying up and what that means to them. For
Mhm.
me, I'm very hesitant to pay more than like I don't know. In most cases, honestly, more than $5. And I average out my cost of goods. And so if I do go to my honey hole and I'm like, well, this dress is 7, but it's a good brand, it's a good style, and I know it's gonna sell. And then I have this like shirt that's discounted down to 99 cents. I can justify that in my head because I'll average it
Mhm.
out. But I hardly ever spend more than like $8, $9 on any individual item. I have such a hard time with that, just putting that money up front, even though I
It
know
was
what I'm
hard at first.
doing.
It was definitely
Yeah,
hard, especially when you're leaving with today I had 15 items. Do the
yeah,
math. That's
yeah,
$225 to
yep,
walk out that store. So, yes, that's a lot
yeah,
of money to pay up front. But
yeah.
one item I got today sells for $325.
There you go.
So paying up, you're going to get better return as
Yeah,
long as you do
true.
your research. And
Yes,
that's why with the things that go back is because they're only worth, I say only
right.
worth
Yeah.
$50 to $60, but it's free shipping to match Amazon minus my
Mhm.
15 cost of good minus
Yep,
fees.
yep.
I'm walking away with $15. It's not worth it.
No,
So
it's
I
not.
want to pick the items that are $100 or more to
Yeah,
spend the 15.
yeah,
So I had to get over that. I had to
yeah,
realize in order to make more and to grow the business using this bins model,
yeah.
I had to pay up.
And that totally
So,
makes sense for me. That's why I like, clothing and also going to the bins because even if I
yeah,
pick up a heavy leather jacket, again, it's at the bins especially you average out everything.
yeah.
Even if I pick that up and it'll bring up my cost of goods a little bit, I've never spent more than $2 per item at my bins on
Wow.
anything. And I mean, yeah, I've sold stuff for $10 because it just wasn't moving and I've donated stuff back or I
Mhm.
took it to Plato's Closet and technically lost money. But I also have like I find enough that sells for like $25 or more. Um, and every once in a while I find something that sells for $200. It doesn't happen
That's
often, but it
awesome.
happens. So
Yep.
yeah.
All right. Chrissy's asking here. She's thought about selling on ThreadUp. Have you ever sold on there?
Yeah. I only sell on ThreadUp if it's things that I'm sick and tired of or that are from my own closet where I'm not trying to turn a profit, where it's just like liquidating things, hoping to make a few bucks, but really just like get it out of my house and don't make me put more effort into it. That's when I send stuff to ThreadUp. And ThreadUp used to be maybe like 3 years ago, I wanna say, like, well, probably at the height of the pandemic, ThreadUp was actually a pretty good model for a lot of people, for a lot of resellers to pick up cheap stuff and send it in and make bank on it, and, they all shared it on social media, and ThreadUp, I mean, I have lots of feelings about the company, but they're not stupid, and they figured that out, and they were like, "Alright, we're gonna change our model," and then they changed it, and then they changed it again, and at this point you can make money on ThreadUp. It's such a guessing game because you relinquish a lot of control regarding how much your item can sell for because they will cap that price wherever they see fit. I mean, they have rules in place, but
Yeah.
still. And so I just send a bunch of boxes of inventory that I was just like, I'm sick and tired of this. It's moved from Virginia to New Jersey with me and back, which tells me it's been in my house for too long or in my storage unit. So I'm like, I need this gone. I'm tired of it. And I go through that like once a year where I'm just like, nope, just burn it all down. And so I took it to Plato's Closet and Clothes Mentor, and they took some. And the rest I sent to ThreadUp, and a bunch of it I actually donated because I'm like, you know what? I got this in a ThreadUp box. I would have never picked it up. It's not worth it. It's not worth for me to keep storing it at this point. So I'd rather donate it and have somebody get wear out of it. So anyway, long story short, with ThreadUp, I
So are
would,
they like a virtual Plato's Closet where you just send them the stuff,
yeah,
they pay you what
kind
they
of,
want to pay you?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they, for the most part, they pay you when the item sells. Um, and it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a really like good designer item, but then still they price it to sell and they want you to price it to sell. So if you got it really cheap and you don't want to put work into it, sure. Mm, I would, with ThreadUp, I would recommend, and I don't know who currently still sends stuff to ThreadUp and like makes videos about it or posts about it, but I would recommend looking up those people on like Instagram and YouTube just to see like what are they sending, how much does it sell for, and how much are they actually getting, because that is very humbling. Like I have a whole bunch of stuff listed on ThreadUp right now. And some of the items they've listed way higher than I've ever had them listed, but my payout is going to be like $6. So
Wow.
it's not great. And so I would recommend it more for like, I have stuff in my own closet that I want to get rid of, but I don't want to list it. Or I've come into this like box of clothing somehow, but I'm not a clothing reseller and I don't want to deal with it. Or I have inventory I want to get rid of and I don't care what I get for it anymore. And
Yeah.
that's me. I will just pack it up. I'll throw some of my own things in there, and if I can make a few bucks on them, great. But
That's got to be the bottom of the barrel stuff. Things that you've
yeah,
already tried, and it's just one last ditch
yes,
effort before donating it.
yeah. And
Gotcha.
it's not necessarily like bad brands or bad styles. I've sent things back to ThreadUp that are decent brands. It's new with tags. I don't know why they're not selling,
Just not the market
but
right now.
yeah, but the thing is, like, ThreadUp has a much bigger platform. So if somebody finds it on there, and yeah, I'm making next to nothing on it, but at least it went somewhere. That's how I justified it. I was like, all right, at least somebody's getting joy out of it, and it's not sitting in my storage unit, because I don't, I'm not a hoarder and I'm a reseller, so it needs to come in
Yep.
and needs to go back out. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, I would not recommend it as like your main business model personally. Same
Yeah.
goes for like the Real. Their whole like payout structure is getting worse and worse as well. And there are people who know a lot more than me about the Real who can speak to that. But
I've
yeah,
never personally used them.
I used them like once or twice, and I made some money. But again, I think they've changed their payout structure so much that even people who really were supporting them and like promoting them have changed their tune quite a bit and rather listed themselves.
Yeah, makes sense for
Yeah.
sure. So, Patrick, your old Amazon bins used to require gloves. So, we have a
Mhm.
couple people that wear them. Luckily, they don't require them. I find them almost useless. Like, if I'm gonna get injured, it's gonna like
Yeah.
those little latex gloves are not gonna
Yeah.
do anything. It's gonna
Yeah.
get poked right through. So, and all the icky stuff that you're gonna touch, you can just wash your hands.
Yeah.
So, like, there are people that still do it, and more power to them. But I've been cut before at the Amazon bins. I reached in and there was a pill cutter, one of like the pill slicers, and the
Uh,
top was broken. So it was literally a razor blade just sitting straight up. And I
damn.
reached in and it got my thumb, and it
Yeah.
was a good one. Like, yeah, it was hard to get that to stop bleeding. So
Yikes.
it happens, but a
Yeah.
glove wouldn't have saved me. So if you
No.
just don't want the icky stuff on you, definitely
Yeah.
wear your gloves. But I like to, I don't know, I feel like I'm amputated if I wear gloves. They
Mm.
just feel weird to me. I'd
I don't
rather
like
just wash my hands.
Yeah, I don't like the feel of them. I wear the like little latex, like medical gloves at my bins.
Mhm.
Um, fully aware that if I touch something sharp, it's not gonna make a difference. And usually by
Right.
the end of the like my digging day, I have holes everywhere. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
well, um,
Hepatitis here and
yeah, but there is, I mean, again, my bins are, I mean, they're the bins, but they're not super disgusting. I've seen a lot worse. Like
Yeah.
the ones I went to in New Jersey were a lot more like there's a lot more dirt. It always felt like everything was covered in like dust. Um
Yeah.
Mine here, it's not as bad, but I've definitely touched things where even through the gloves you can feel like it's probably a little wet or a little damp. And I'm just like, mentally I cannot get over that. So I'm like, I'm glad I have these gloves on.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's personal preference. I mean, wear them, don't wear
100%.
them. Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
I sometimes I would prefer wearing like thicker gloves so you know, just
If you
protect
do
your hands a
get
little bit more.
poked, yeah.
But especially with fabrics, you want to be able to feel them. And a lot of people say they cannot feel the fabric properly through those latex gloves. I still can. Like I can also just look at it and tell this could
Yeah.
be silk or this could be linen or what have you.
Right.
Not always, but it definitely helps. So yeah, personal preference. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's definitely I've never gotten injured at the bins, luckily.
Okay. That
So
was my
far.
only real injury, and I mean, it was a doozy. I'm probably still scarred from it, but
Yeah.
I survived. I'm up to date on my shots, so I'm happy.
Good.
Welcome, Joe. Excited to have you. Caroline, that's really good advice. Looks like I'm gonna need to drive an hour to get to an Amazon type
Mm,
bins. So I'd hate for my first time to be a bust. Yeah, don't do it on the busy days. And
yeah.
most of them have the same structure where you've got the most expensive day and then the cheapest day. Don't go on either end. Pick something in the middle.
Yeah.
Show these ladies some love. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Gina.
Great idea with the timer. I love timers. I'm
Yeah.
weird like that. And maybe it's the mom in me, but if I need to get something done, I set a
Yeah.
timer. Give it
Yep.
30 minutes, and that's what I have. And if you like it, great. If not, move on. That's you set your timer. You did your duty.
Exactly. Agreed.
Gina, I love you guys. Need to
Hey,
eat. Haven't eaten
Gina.
all day. Great chat. Have a great weekend. You too. Sorry, this is 10 minutes later, so you're probably already out of here.
We're just
I'm
chatty.
behind. Sorry. Hello from Texas. I've never been to the bins. I want to go. I could go to Dallas, Fort Worth, or Waco. I have my friend that is also selling on eBay and Posh, so we've talked about going on a weekend. 100%.
Yes.
Either style. Definitely hit a bins at least once.
And honestly, good idea to bring a friend. The first time I went to my bins, because I'd heard so many horror stories, I asked one of my friend who's not she's not a reseller, but she's very thrifty. Like she mostly gets like furniture and things like that and household items for her own home. I'm like, can you come with me? And she's like, I'm not gonna be like your muscle. You do realize that. And I'm like, yeah, but there's strength in numbers. And if it's crazy, I just want to have somebody there.
There you go.
To tell the tale of how I met my untimely demise. No. So she came with me and we were both kind of like, it's not that bad. Like it's not as bad as we expected. And so yeah, I think it's if you've never been and you've heard the horror stories, take a friend. It's and also
It's
like you
always
said
fun
with the
just to chat
timer.
with them too.
Yeah. Oh
While you're
yes.
digging, you can hold stuff up and just engage with people. That's why
Yeah.
I've made friends at my bins.
Yeah.
And just for that reason, you
Yeah.
get that friendship and you're in it for the same mission. So you guys can compare stuff and cheer each
Yeah.
other on. And it's a whole different experience when you can do it
Yes.
with a friend.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever had a sale over 150. I usually do vintage and they don't pay
Yeah.
much. Your time will come. There's plenty of vintage, I'm sure, that does sell for
Honestly, for
crazy
me,
money.
even over 100, very, very few and very far in between.
Yeah,
I don't find it's not just that I don't want to pay up. I don't really find stuff that will go for that much. And I've made my
right.
peace with that. If I do, it's great. If not, but like some of my highest sales actually came from thread boxes because and they were brands I've never seen before.
That's
Um,
so funny.
one or two came from the bins, which was even better because I had like a dollar into them and,
Right.
they sold for over 100, so that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do partner kits and get gift cards.
I've done that too
Is
with
that a
ThredUp.
thread up thing?
Yes, and they've changed that a little bit too. I've done that a bunch of times, and I feel like they're trying to make it harder to find. I've done that with their so I don't know how it works now with partner kits, but it used to be that if you're sending in stuff for a partner kit, so like different brand partners, they would pay you up front. You didn't have any influence on that. But at least you would get your money up front. So I would send a ton of stuff in, get my Athleta gift cards because I can sell the gift cards online and lose a little bit
Mhm.
of that money, but still make a good chunk of money. Or I can use an Athleta gift card at Gap, Banana Republic. No, not Banana. Is Banana Republic part of it? I don't know. Gap, Old Navy, those two. I think Banana Republic too. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Um, But definitely like Gap and Old Navy, not for myself, but because I have the small person who's growing like a weed. So I would
Yep.
do all of his clothing shopping. Like for a year, he was just walking around in clothes with like the Gap logo everywhere. And I'm like, it's kind of weird, but okay, that's just where we're at right now because I
Right.
got those gift
He's a
cards.
stylish kid and not even at the stylish price.
And like he doesn't
Best
care.
way to have it.
He does not care. I mean, he cares a little bit now, but yeah. So the partner program, that's still, I think, probably a better bet in some situations. It again, and you can sell gift cards. You can keep them.
Gives you options. I like that.
Yeah.
One of my best friends is super tall, so she's awesome at the bins. I need to be taller or get tall friends. Because yeah, that's my problem is I can't, for one, I can't reach.
I'm
So
your
it's
tall
not even
friend.
the lookout. And I'm trying to reach for something and I have to
Yeah.
tell them, like, can I have that? But don't take it. I want that. And usually they give
I'm
it to me, but
I'm 5'8", so I'm the tall
oh
friend.
wow. All
Usually,
right, you need to
yeah.
come with me because I'm 5'2" and I can't reach shit.
If
I get
ever in
like halfway over
Arizona,
the
it's a
bin
date.
and I have to ask for people to throw stuff to me.
Yeah.
Tammy, we are happy to help. Took my friend Jessica once. She didn't understand the appeal. Was glad to have
Yeah.
the company. It
It's
helps if you have someone who also enjoys it
yeah.
rather than someone you have to drag in to do it.
I mean, honestly, it's a weird sell. I've told so many people who have nothing to do with reselling about what the bins are and what kind of magical and confusing place they are. And I always say everybody needs to experience them at least once. If
Right.
nothing else, then just to see how much freaking waste there is in the world.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, it's a weird thing to tell people like, "Oh, I'm spending my Saturday literally digging through other people's trash," and I find it enjoyable. It's like
Prime
I'm always
effort.
like, "I know I'm weird, but this is what I do."
Yep. I've gotten, yeah, I do. I have some friends that I've taken to the Amazon bins and they're all hooked and they all do it just for personal. They
Yeah.
just enjoy it. Well, hello.
Hi.
You came to say hi again? Okay, bye. Coppercat's heading out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Don't leave everybody. I still have a giveaway. So don't
Yeah.
let it leave.
I mean, if you
Still
all
got a
leave,
giveaway.
I'm gonna be the only one. I don't know if I'm eligible to enter, but if everybody leaves, then I
I
feel like
think you
by
can
default
because
it's
you
gonna
just
go
have
to
to put
me.
a comment in when I say the magic word and it'll put you in there. So
Alright, bye everyone, leave. I don't have a light box, okay? I could use
uh-huh.
it.
That's funny. Uh, okay, so hold on. I want to pick another good question here. What is your biggest pet peeve in reselling?
I have thought about this question so much since you send it because my god, do I have a lot of pet peeves. It's
Ooh,
like
I want to hear them.
it's like, are we talking buyers? Are we talking fellow sellers? Are we talking the community?
Either
Are we
one.
talking God, so
Either
many.
one.
I
Or pick
d
one from both.
I should just do like a quick fire round. I don't like when buyers send messages or comments and they're just like $10 question mark. Like if you're gonna lowball me, either send an offer or bother to ask an actual question, you know?
Right.
Like it's just I don't this might just be a me thing and I'm a language person, but like can you be a decent human and put a full sentence in there? Like is that too much to ask? That
Yep.
bothers me. Same when they're just like waist measurements, how many miles, blah blah. And like, that's part of a sentence, but like things like that.
How many
Um,
miles? That cracks me up. I've been
Running
asked that.
shoes.
Or
Yeah,
um, what was another one? I had a speaker and someone asked how many hours it was played. Like, for one, I'm not the first owner,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
don't know. It sounds good now. I don't know how many
yeah,
times it
yeah,
sounded good. Like, I don't know. Or a coffee pot.
yeah,
How many coffees has it brewed?
yeah.
I don't know,
And I
2 dozen.
know runners runners with their running shoes, some really do keep track of their mileage
Yeah.
because they are training. And I
And they know
used to
you
be
get
a
like
runner.
10,000 miles to a pair of shoes or
Yeah.
something. Like, they
I
know
used to
that.
be a runner and I'd never kept track because I was not that, involved in that.
Right.
Um, but yeah, then another one is just like, how many times has it been washed and been in the dryer? And I'm like, girl, I cannot even tell you that about my own clothing unless it's something I
Right.
really only wore once. And also, it's just like, I could totally bullshit you. Like, sorry,
Yep.
but so things like that, like
Yep.
just like I know people say there are no stupid questions, but let me tell you, as somebody who spent a lot of time in a classroom and also selling things on the internet, there are definitely stupid questions. So
They are.
some questions are
Yep.
really stupid. So just like rude people, that sort of thing, but that's also a general pet peeve. With regard to just like the reseller community, oh God, I need to decide how unpopular I want to make myself tonight. Um,
Well,
go
Patrick's
subscribe,
ready for this,
go
so
subscribe to my
bring it.
channel.
He wants the
Um,
tea.
God, I don't like when people. First of all, I'm not a big fan of clickbait. I know that we all like, especially on YouTube, like we all kind of try to play the game, and it just it needs to happen at some point if you want to get the views. But there's some really like so obviously clickbaity titles and thumbnails, and then you watch the video and you're like, did I click on the right video?
Right.
It's
Someone
just
called
like,
me out for being clickbait on a video. I'm like, 3 minutes in, I give you exactly what I said I was giving you. Like, did
yeah,
you watch the video?
yeah. It's they're definitely. I mean, there's clickbait and then there's clickbait. Um,
Yes.
but like there are
You
definitely
have to
some
be catchy
people.
if you want your video watched. Like,
Yes,
yes, you're
yes,
not going to put a title that
definitely,
says, "Don't watch this, it's boring."
definitely.
Click that.
I should do that and see how many views I get. Um, but yeah, so that's it, again, there's a spectrum there, but some just yeah, just some types of videos where I'm like, "Oh god, no." I also one thing that annoys me is when just people in general, but also especially resellers in this community kind of make it look like it's super easy, like that anyone can do this. And I'm like, anyone
Yep.
who lives in your area has access to the same things and has the same support system and time on their hands that you do, sure. But not
Right.
anyone. Like we're not all in the same situation. And do I think that reselling is a very accessible side hustle or even career? Yes. But
Yeah.
again,
I
it's not
like
the
the saying
same.
it's simple, but it's not easy. It's a very
Exactly.
simple
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it, but it's
Yes.
not easy because
Yeah.
depending where you live,
Yeah.
what your sources are,
Yep.
how much back knowledge you already have, like
Yes.
it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's easier for me now that I've been doing this for 4 years, but when I first started, the amount of time I invested just looking at labels at the thrift. Now it's like ding 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 ding. But yeah, it's there's such a steep learning curve. So I don't like people just like just being not being truthful. And I understand it's social media, it's a highlight reel. We're all playing the game to an extent, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd always feel like I try to keep it real on my channel, as much as possible. Do I have a few clickbaity titles? Sure, especially with thread up boxes. Like at some point, you kind of do it, and then you hate
You
yourself a
do
little
it
bit.
if it works.
Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, it's just that sort of idea of, oh, I turned $1 into 1,000, and it was so easy. I'm like, no, it's not. Don't tell people that. It's not. Like,
Right.
no. And then they complain that now everybody is like reselling it and they cannot find good stuff. It's just you can't
It's
have it
because you
both
told
ways.
everybody to go buy everything.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
do you have favorite resellers you like to watch? I definitely have
Um,
a good handful. You want to start?
yeah, sure. So I've honestly lately I have not watched a whole lot of reseller YouTube, just gonna be honest. I always go through like phases where I'm like, I deal with this so much on a daily basis that I don't want to watch anyone else talking about it.
Mhm.
But I do have a few people I like to watch. I mean, I have my close friends that I like to watch, like Glamour's Closet. She's in the chat, and Happy Hour Haulers, Brynette and Janet. They're in the chat. I always call them Brynette, so I'm tripping over saying their names separately. But Bryn and Janet. And
Why
so
don't
yeah, I
you
have a
put
whole bunch
your
of
YouTubes in the chat?
yeah,
That way
you
anyone who
guys.
doesn't follow
Bryn.
can follow you.
There are a few live shows I like to catch whenever I can. Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller, he's really just fantastic for the whole
I got
community, and
one question,
and he has
Veronika.
so much good advice and so many people that I found through his channel.
Mhm.
Um, when I first started, a bunch of the people I was watching, some I don't watch anymore, some I still do. I really like Becky Park. She was one of the first people I watched. She definitely does a lot of clothing and shoes, and
Mhm.
I found her very relatable because she's a mom like me. She's part-time, she teaches, and so I was like, "Oh, check, 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 check. I
You're
can
my
relate to this
person.
person." Yeah, so things like that. And I think that's generally my tendency. I watch people that I find relatable and
Mhm.
or that have good information that I can implement into my own business. So um sometimes I go through phases where I watch, hard goods resellers. Like I watched your videos, your one of your latest videos, and you're showing all these items that you found at the Amazon bins, and I'm like, I should do this. It's like, gosh, that is such a good flip. But again, I know that you didn't start off just, you know, automatically knowing what's good and what's not. And I like when people are transparent about that and they say, like you need to look it up. You need to do your research. You need to look at sell-through rate.
Yeah.
That I find that useful. So yeah, my preferences definitely have evolved from just watching people haul a bunch of items to watching people for either for their personality or for the good information that they provide, or ideally both. So yeah.
Yeah, I started with I'm gonna draw a blank. Harry Tornado, of
Yep.
course. He was one of the OGs. Um, gosh, there's so many that are amazing. I watched Kayla, the homeschool picker, and
Mhm.
now she's combined with Matt, part-time picker. So they're fun to watch. Um, Philly Flipper, Paul,
Yep.
he's a hoot to watch. Um, yeah, everyone that's in the chat. I mean, there's some really,
Yeah.
really, really good YouTubers out there. And I love the variety.
Yes.
That's what I love. And lately, well, I've been watching them for a long time. Dustin and Michelle, um, what is his channel? McFlippin' Ship. I found him a
Oh,
while ago
I've heard
and
of
he
them.
started dating another YouTuber, which she I don't know if they met on YouTube. I think they
Mhm.
did. And now she goes by Hippo something. I'm
Okay.
bad at her channel name, but they do everything on his channel, the McFlippin' Ship, and they put out some amazing content. And I don't know
Awesome.
why their channel's not growing. And I actually sent them some tips the other day. And like, maybe try some different titles. Like, maybe try
Mm,
this. Like, you guys have such amazing content. And he puts his blood, sweat, and tears in the editing. And it's like,
yeah.
your channel should be growing more. And like, I remember when I first found him, he had almost to 1,000 subs, and I think I had like 300. And so
Yeah.
I started watching him, and then I quickly caught up to him, and then he finally got monetized, and I got monetized, and then I think he's at like 1,500 now. I'm like, you should easily be more than I am. So it's hard to see other YouTubers that are really doing well
Yeah.
and really putting out amazing content, and they're not growing. So if you guys don't follow them, you need
Yeah.
to
If
because
if
it's
somebody can
amazing.
drop their link in the chat, that would be awesome. 'Cause I
Yes,
haven't heard of them.
McFlippin' Ship.
McFlippin' Ship. Okay. Yeah,
I
I
think,
see
Chrissy,
all
I think
my
you're
my
the only
peeps.
moderator on here. I don't know.
Poor Chrissy.
Yeah, Becky Park.
Yeah.
She's a good one.
Lori
I
Tata.
follow more hard goods. I've seen
Yeah.
uh
Makes sense.
who's the other homeschool reseller that does the clothes? Is it home
There's
what's her
so many.
channel? Something homeschool or home at
Mm,
home mom. What is her name? She's
I
really
feel like
pretty. She used to be blonde.
there are a bunch that I can
I
think
can
of,
never
but
remember her name. Nutter, if you're still here, I know you correct me every time. Home something. But anyways,
okay.
she does a lot of clothing hauls and she'll go
Nice.
through the trash bags with her husband and hold up the pieces. And I was trying to learn some clothing brands from her, but like I said, that's a steep learning curve. Clothing
Yeah.
is a whole different animal.
It's funny because I feel like clothing resellers are really,
Thank you,
really
Chrissy.
intimidated by hard goods resellers and then vice versa. Like,
Yeah, like hard goods are my jam. Clothing scares me. And yeah, it's funny how it's the opposite. All right, my husband told me I missed a question. So I'm gonna scroll up
nope.
here.
Also,
Was it
people are
this one?
mentioning Two Hip Chicks in the chat. Definitely check
Oh,
them out. They're
yeah.
fantastic. Don and Mary, I love them. They have weekly lives as well, and they're just a joy to
Nice.
watch.
There's
They're just
just so
really good
many. And
people.
I enjoy I know there's, like you said, we do this all day. It's hard to watch videos of it,
Yeah.
but it motivates me at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Like if there's live going or I'm watching just some other YouTuber doing it, it makes time go that much faster.
And
So I still enjoy watching them.
I think Kami
All right,
popped
Katie's
in.
asking, how do you list? Do you
Oh yeah.
promote or just list? So do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so I cross list. I use Vendu and I cross list everything to Poshmark, eBay, and Macari, and then selectively to Depop and Facebook Marketplace. And I do promote on eBay. I think so you cannot promote listings through Vendu, so there's always a delay for me to when I actually go into eBay and then promote them. But I promote everything right now at like 6%, which is not a lot for clothing, but it's as much as I can stomach because that brings me up to somewhere in terms of fees right where Poshmark is, because Poshmark charges 20% just across the board.
There you go.
And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable going higher than that with fees. So that's
Right.
where I promote. And then on Poshmark, they have the promoted closet option now, or it had it for a while. And I did their like beta testing for free, liked it, but didn't really want to pay for it. Right now I'm trying it again and I'm paying for it. The very lowest price that I can pay, which is 20 up to $20 a week. And I'll give it like a month to see if it shakes something loose because just Poshmark has been really dead for me. So
Yeah.
beyond that though, yeah, I just list and try to use good keywords and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So I also cross list when I remember through Vendu. And then I promote. So my cross listing is only over to Macari. I know there's so many other marketplaces, but for
Yeah.
hard goods, I like to stick with eBay and Macari. And then on eBay, I promote. I'm cheap. I only do like 3%. And it's only on the items that have less than 100% sell through. If it's over 100% sell through, it'll sell by itself.
Yeah.
So no need to give eBay extra money. All right.
Agreed.
Nutter was correcting me. Homeschool picker. That wasn't the one. That's Kayla. So I know
It's
that one.
Kayla, yeah.
It's hustle at home mom.
Also,
Ashley.
yes.
Is it
I know
Ashley?
her.
Yeah. She knows her clothes.
Yes.
Yeah. So technically you were both right. I like both channels.
I will say sometimes it's some names are just very easy to confuse with one another because and that was one of my
It's the
things like
home. At home or hustle
yeah,
at
it's
home, homeschool.
homeschool, and then also like a lot of I feel like with hard goods reseller channels, there's a lot of like flip and
Pickers.
picker and all of that. And with clothing resellers, it's like hanger or closet or
Yep. Like
something like
Georgia
that.
picker. I was just watching
Yeah.
his video right before going
Yep.
live.
So it's easy to get
Um,
those names confused, I feel like.
Cincinnati pickers.
Yep.
Yeah. Or sellers, hence
Yep.
desert sellers.
Yep.
We're not very creative. You get what you get.
I just
We
honestly
sell, we pick, we flip. That's what we
I
do.
just went with my own name because I figured, okay, if I ever want to like move away from reselling and do something else, at least that's not going to
There you
change.
go. You've got
So
the
I'm just
brand.
like, I'm
100%.
glamour. I'm not knocking closet. I'm just saying it's a common term in the reselling game. All right, you
Yeah.
know I love you
Well,
and your
we've got
closet.
Chris T with hold on, Texas Mom's Closet.
Yes. Mhm.
So that's another, yeah, closet's a big one. But she does more hard goods too, not just
Mm.
clothes. What are you laughing about? I hear my husband in the background cackling. All right, let's see. Let's go with one more question and then we will do our giveaway.
Yes.
All right, this one's my favorite. What is your
Mm.
favorite reseller tip that you wish everyone knew?
It's so basic, but it's my biggest reselling flex, which tells you something about how lame I am. You don't have to pay for shipping supplies like bubble wrap and air pouches and things like that. Go on Facebook or Nextdoor, find your local buy nothing group or pay for nothing group or whatever it is called, make a post, say that you are looking for shipping materials. I will guarantee you, as long as you don't live in the middle of absolutely nowhere, there will be people who have bags and bags of air pouches, bubble wrap, packaging paper. It's going to be crumbled up, but it's fine. You know, especially if you're selling things that can break or move around. I don't sell that much of that, but I have so much packaging material like that from people who like me, have an Amazon problem and just accumulate these things. So
Yep.
you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay for air and plastic. You don't. There are
Right.
people and businesses to that will give you stuff. You just have to ask and just find spaces to ask.
Or friends to
Um,
save them for you. But it's funny because
yes.
they'll bring me a stack and they're like,
Yep.
I swear this is 6 months worth of stuff. Like
Yep.
they don't want to admit their Amazon problem. I'm like, I have the same problem, girl.
Yeah.
Like
We
we're on
don't
first
judge.
name basis with my Amazon driver.
Yeah.
So it's okay that this was 1 week's worth of mailers. No shame. I'm
Yeah.
just happy to get your mailers.
Absolutely. And just also like reusing things. Like I said earlier, I'm partially in this for like sustainability reasons. So all my little like bubble mailers that I get from Amazon, I will rip my address label off because I use a PO box.
Yep.
And then I'd like to turn them inside out, but some people don't even do that. And it's just like an extra layer of protection if I'm shipping like little kids' shoes that are not gonna shoes, I know, that are not gonna break, but that don't need to go in a box. They're like little sneakers. They can go in one of those bubble things. So
100%.
yeah, I feel like you don't have to pay for those things. You don't. There's
Yeah.
enough trash in the world, and some of it can be reused.
Yep. Shipping
Also,
materials home from work. Yep. I even
subscribe
have
to
my nail
Kingy.
lady saving me boxes. Every time I see her, she's got boxes and mailers for me.
Yeah,
Friends save Amazon stuff for me
yeah,
too. Yep. So just make more friends and you'll never have to buy any packing supplies.
yeah. And even in those buy nothing groups, at some point, I would have people who would regularly contact me and say, "Hey, I have 2 more big garbage bags full of stuff. You want to come
Yep.
by?" And I'm like,
They'll
"Sure."
start
I
saving
had
them for you.
so much that I wasn't using for shipping or not frequently enough. I was moving to New Jersey and I was moving back to Virginia. I was able to pack all of my moving stuff with those
There you
things, and I
go.
still had stuff left over. So if you can store it, yeah.
Yes. All right. So those that are joining that did not see my lovely giveaway, let me
Yes.
beat myself up with it.
It's
Okay.
a good one.
It's a good one. Oh, it's big. It is. Not plugged in. Hold on. You got to
It's
get the full effect of this.
it's
We're going to plug it
foldable,
in again.
it
It is
works,
foldable. It is portable.
but it's also big.
And it is a handy dandy. Everybody wants one. Light box. Portable light box. And it goes in different. Don't drop it. Hold on, I was trying to find this plug. Okay. These are your bloopers for the evening. It does get lighter and it gets brighter.
Mm.
So you can really get some good pictures.
Yeah, don't blind
And it's
yourself.
LED, so it's good on your eyeballs. And it's just a little box. And
And
then it
also
folds
it'll
flat.
last. LED,
Yes.
that's
And
that's
it's like,
clever.
yeah, it's solid. Like
Nice.
it's heavy duty. Clues photo light box. And it goes nice and small. I don't know what the door is for.
Um,
Maybe if you put like a filter or something, like to change the color.
yeah,
I don't have any
probably.
filters. I'm sorry, you just get the box, but I'm sure that you can find filters. Put a colored piece of paper in there. Maybe that'll color it.
There you go.
Who is the maker of my light box? Is Puluz. Puluz. So
It's a
we are going to do.
giveaway. We don't care about the maker.
There you go. It's free. That's the brand.
Oh, pictures
All
from
right,
the
pics
top.
from
Yes,
the
that's true.
top. Oh,
Yes.
you are smart, Chrissy. How did you get so smart? That's gotta be what it is.
Yeah.
Because then, once you put the item in, your phone is right between the light. Big brain over
Jesus.
there.
This is why she has a wrench. She's a smart one.
Seriously. Yes, you earned that wrench. Wow. Mind blown. Still, they're just going to take the picture from the front. Wow. Okay, sorry. That was amazing. Okay, yes, Chrissy has one. That helps. Texas ladies here. Sorry if I didn't welcome you before. I do have one, so I won't enter if someone win that doesn't. Aw, that's very kind of you.
If
Okay.
I'm allowed to enter, I will totally enter because I don't have
Enter.
one.
Yes, you are 100%. I just need to figure out how to do this here. So we're going to go to present, share screen. I've got a tab started for the giveaway tool. Okay. Let's think of a magic word. Let's say hashtag, not ad, light. I know, it's exciting. All right.
So creative.
It is. I know. I'm on my creative game tonight. What?
Clever.
Oh, I did have a ka-ching. All right.
Nice.
Hashtag light.
Well, don't let me be the first one to put it in, people.
I chose the video, right? Well, I told the video earlier when I pulled this up. So
Here, let me put it in so we can. Here we
enter so I know
go.
that it's working. Yeah, there we go. 4
There
entries.
we
Okay.
go. There's a delay.
There's a delay. All right. Okay, so yes, everybody enter hashtag light to win this lovely light
Patrick
box that you can take
Murphy.
pictures
Stop
from the
it.
front and from the top. Patrick, you said light bright.
Oh,
It
he's
says light.
messing. He's messing with you. Good policy. At some point, just let Patrick Murphy do his thing.
Oh yeah, Nutter does have a wrench too.
He'll
Thank you.
he'll
I know you
tire
a couple
himself
wrenches.
out.
It's okay. Well, if you want to win it, you got to enter the right thing because you're not going to be entered if you don't enter the right thing.
I don't think he needs a light box. Well, I think he
This
may
one's
actually have.
cool. Then you could take it with you anywhere.
I know. I mean, my light box right now is my regular lights that I use, and then my cardboard from the dollar store. That's my light box. Patrick,
Yeah,
you know I love you.
that's my. It's a big setup though, so to have something like this,
Yeah. Yep.
it'd be handy.
Definitely is. And one of my bottlenecks in reselling is cleaning and photographing shoes. I know. So that I feel like that would definitely help because that's where I would use that.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. It wouldn't fit like men's big shoes. I don't know how big
Yeah.
this thing is. It's this big. Maybe
Yeah.
13 inches. I had to
But
guess. It's probably
what
about 13.
does really? What fits men's big shoes?
Well, I'm giving people a minute. There's 24 people in here and only 11 entries. So hashtag light. I still use my dollar store setup.
I mean, it
Yes, I mean
works.
it totally works, and I've switched it. So I used to just have just the poster board at the
Yeah.
bottom, just the white poster board that's like 25 cents and throw it away when it's dirty.
Yeah.
But I kept throwing away so many or flipping it over so you get 2 uses
Yeah.
and then throwing it away. So now I took a piece of Hobby Lobby Michael's photo backdrop. So it's
Mm,
still like a paper, but then
yeah.
it actually looks like wood, like faux wood.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I first thought like you always want a white background. That's what we're
Mhm.
always trained to have a white background. It hasn't hurt sales at all. And my sales are thriving. So
Nice.
if anything, it shows me how old some of my old stuff is. So I'm like, okay, this is within the last 60
Yeah.
days because that's when I changed my photo space. And it's easier to clean. It doesn't show dust. It doesn't show dirt.
Yep.
It gets a lot more uses. And so now when I change it, it's going to be because it's super icky, but
Yeah.
not for a while.
I used to use one of those, and then I actually did the
Yeah.
opposite thing. I switched to just like white background and removing backgrounds anyway because we're told, white background. So, but same thing for me. If I see anything that has like the fake shiplap background, I'm like, I've had this for too long.
Yep. All right. If everyone is in, we are going to do our drawing. Drum roll. That's my drum roll. All right.
Oh, here.
Everybody's in? I only have 11 entries. 25 people here. Everyone's sleeping.
I mean, half of them
Oh,
already
12.
have one. So,
That's true. That's true. If
yeah.
you truly did not want it, you don't have to enter. All right. And the winner is. Okay. It's still thinking. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
I love
It's
that
rigged.
for you,
It's rigged.
Patrick. The one person who wasn't trying to enter but entered anyway.
Oh, that is funny. Congratulations, Patrick. Go ahead and Instagram me at Desert Sellers, your shipping info, and I will get that over to you. How did that happen? It just
Yeah.
happened.
I mean, Patrick, if you don't want it, you know who has a birthday coming up, right?
You could gift it.
You
That
could
is an option.
you could do that, I guess.
But
It worked.
send it to Veronika.
Oh, you shouldn't have. I was being so subtle. Okay. Yeah, no, everybody's gonna think this whole thing was rigged, so I
No,
apologize.
it's legit. You watched it live. I clicked a button and Patrick won it. So he won fair and square. So if he wants to gift it, that
Thank you,
is super, super
Patrick.
kind. So send me
Here, here, I
your
need to do
shipping
one of the
address.
cool let me do one of the cool things. Here we go. That's for Patrick.
Ah, now
So
you're just
fun.
showing off.
It's so fun though.
That is too cool.
If you have an iPhone or iPad somewhere in your house, it should work on that too.
I have
So,
to try it. We do
yeah,
have things. I just never use them. We've
you have
switched to more of a
iTunes.
Samsung family. So we
Gotcha.
still have iPads around, like the kids use them, and
Yeah,
we still have to have them
same.
because I still have an old iPod. So if I ever have to fix
Wow.
that, and my husband has Mac stuff in his room, and if that stuff needs passwords, because Apple loves to ask every device for a password except the one that you're using. So
Right.
they're still floating around. I'll have to play around on there.
Aw, Patrick. Well, I appreciate it.
That's
Thank you,
awesome.
buddy.
All right, my friends, let's do one quick wrap up here. How do you see your business growing this year? What are some of your goals?
Oh God. It's again, I you sent me these questions and I was like, my gut
I did
instinct first.
prepare you.
You did. Thank you. Appreciate that. Such a professional. But I was thinking about this one and
I
because
sent you
my
the wrong
my
date, but at least I sent you the questions.
my like gut instinct answer is like I don't. But that's not entirely true. Let me put it this way. I'm not really actively doing a lot to like scale my business right now or grow it. I have a long-term goal which I don't think if it's attainable, but it would be lovely if at some point I could make like the equivalent of a full-time income with reselling, doing part-time work. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. It probably won't. It's probably not realistic because let's face it, at some point I need to sleep and like eat and hang out with my kid. But
Occasionally.
that would be like a long-term thing. But I mean, one kind of ongoing goal that I have is just to make smarter choices when sourcing. Like, don't buy it just because it's cheap. Um, be more
Yep.
diligent in looking things over. And that's just like an ongoing process. But I'm not really trying to grow in terms of like having more inventory at all times because I think I'm like at a sweet spot where I feel like I can manage this. I can fit it into my storage unit. But yeah, I would like to pick up better inventory and keep my cost of goods low, but have a higher return on my investment to cover things like the storage unit, which at this point in my life I need. And I mean, my big dream is that one day I can make a Instagram post and be like, reselling paid for this, and then I show off a awesome car or house or something. Is that ever gonna happen? Probably not. But if reselling could eventually pay off my debt, that would be nice. But yeah, it's nothing where I'm like, I'm so disciplined that I get up at 4 in the morning and I do this, this, and this because I'm working towards that goal. I'm just not that person. Um, Sometimes I wish I could be, but I'm not. And I think part of the reason why like people watch my channel is because I'm not trying to be that person. They're like, yep, mediocre amount of effort. I can relate to that. So that's me. So I'm not really trying to grow my business, but I do have some goals that, I casually try to achieve.
Yes, that's awesome. All right, Patrick, one
Yeah,
final thing. Fun fact about Veronica, she has her own Mortal Kombat sound bite.
I do. It's on Patrick Murphy's
Details.
channel. Yeah. Patrick, so in case you don't know anything about Patrick Murphy, is one thing that you need to know about Patrick Murphy. He has an amazing radio voice, and he does little sound clips of all kinds of fun things. So if you want to check out his channel, you should because it's nothing if not entertaining. And there is a Mortal Kombat video clip that he made for me. So
All
you
right,
should
well,
check
you
that out.
put your channel in the chat because there's a lot of Patrick Murphys.
Oh, hold on. I'll find them for you. It's Patrick Murphy
And
TM.
okay, because none
I
of
don't
these
know
look
if
like that.
I don't know if that's gonna go through or not because I'm not wrenched. I can also put it in the private chat.
Is it
I
the
don't know.
PMR TV? No.
No, I'm putting it in the private chat on StreamYard if you want to pull it from there, because I don't think it's going through if I just type or do
Private.
that.
Let's copy link.
He also has cat videos that are fun to watch. Just saying.
Exciting. All right,
I love
let's do
cats.
that.
There we
And
go.
then come up here and subscribe. There's the face. All
There
right.
we go.
Oh, fun. All right. Yep. I'm going to have to binge through that. I've got listing to do tonight. So that'll be my entertainment.
I'm not the
I'm
guy
not the guy who's listed on death row in Texas. That's good.
but you could
That
be.
is good.
One day, Patrick, one day.
Just type in Mortal Kombat Veronika. Okay.
Or
That's how we're
that.
going to.
Or that.
That is funny. I'm going to have to find that
Oh,
for
God.
sure. All right, my friends. We definitely had so much fun tonight. Thank you,
Yes.
Veronika, for coming on. Even though I
Thank
messed up
you.
your date, you were so flexible and amazing for still joining me tonight. Make sure to follow all of her channels at the Veronika Mit K, which is not her last name. It is with a K.
With a K.
Thank you for the hearts. That's so fun. I need
And
to do
think
this from an Apple device
it's
because
so fun. It's
I feel like I am missing out.
I've done lives where I just do that, like
So
half
what
an
else
hour
do you do?
straight.
You did the hearts. You did
Oh,
the piece or whatever.
let's see. There we
Oh,
go.
that one. Oh, that's a fun
Uh,
one.
Also, shout out to Patrick Murphy because he sent me a link with all of these guys. What was the other one? Oh, they were balloons. How do you do balloons in rain? Hold on. Is it this? No. Oh,
Oh,
is it this?
firecrackers. That's fun.
This. I
Oh,
forgot how the balloons go. How do the
uh,
balloons go? There's one where you get balloons coming down, but I forgot how.
oh, that
It
is
wasn't
fun.
this. Was it just
Maybe
one?
like a celebrate.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
One peace sign, two peace signs. Oh, two peace signs is confetti. All right, so that's fun.
That
But
was
what I
fun.
was gonna say, Jen, thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun, and I just love connecting
Yes,
with new people who I haven't connected with before, especially those who sell different things from me and like are part of different communities. It's great. So love it. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. And we will see you guys all next week. Same time, same place, same channel. Thank you, everyone in the chat. It was so fun chatting with all of you tonight. Hope everyone has a fabulous weekend, and I will see you all next Friday. Bye
Bye.
bye.